represent the daughters-in-law, those of us who have married into the Solomon family. I'm Marty, Mary the eldest. We live in London. That was my daughter with the accent there. It's a received accent, not from us. Although I loved High very much, and I love High in my husband very much. But what I want to honor, whom I want to honor today, is Eleanor, because she set precedents for all of us and how to look after the ones that we love.
I promised my brothers I'd tell this story because we just were remembering Dan. We always had, there was an instance when he was a finance manager. This is before government regulations were so hard. And so when he would have a customer that he was questioning whether they could afford to buy the car that they just said they were going to buy, he would call our house and tell us, if I ask for Mr. Brewster, just leave the phone off the hook and let me do the talking. And so he would be sitting across from a customer and he would say, "Oh, Mr. Brewster, I have a customer here. Yeah. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh, really?" Oh, and he would go through this whole shtick and I wouldn't even listen to it. He would just be having this conversation so you wouldn't hear the phone beeping in the other side of the phone. That was a fun one. My other car dealership story was for me when I was in college. I think I was 19. Dad had a deal with his dealership to go to the Phillies game, and we got the VIP treatment. And it was the first time I ever got drunk with my father. And it was Richie Ashburn hat giveaway day. And so it was the first time I actually got to have gin and tonics with my dad, and it was okay, and I wasn't of age, and I felt very privileged to have the honor of listening to my dad talk through his nose, because that was his giveaway. Whenever he gets drunk, that's what he can do. And he wound up falling asleep in the 6th inning and didn't even see it. The last story is the mechanical one that I remember. It was one of the only times I ever heard my dad use the F word, which I'm not going to say, but I will tell you the story that he was trying to put in a sliding glass, do you remember this? Trying to put in a sliding door in our bathroom to get rid of the old shower curtain. And he mismeasured the thing, and I could hear from upstairs, because we weren't allowed to help, of course. Ah, shit, I effed up! The only time I ever heard my dad use that word. It also told me I should probably not to try to do that myself, so luckily I have some friends that help me with those projects. Bob was on his way to Iraq to serve at the embassy in Baghdad as the physician and made a special trip out here. And so on Wednesday night, the night before Dad passed away, all three of us and Mom were together with Dad. Mom was laying in bed next to him, rubbing his hair, telling stories about when they first met. We all just shared. Dad was pretty much despondent, but we all knew that he was hearing us. And it was probably one of those moments that we'll always remember, because it was very sweet and tender, and we were together. And if you look at the slideshow, the very last slide, our hospice nurse, where are you? Pat. Stand up, please, because he took a photo of us, the three of us with Mom. And so when you look at, if you get a chance to look at this, it'll be running when you're eating. That was like our last night, and it was something really special. And there's also I said I make a plug for the website. There's a website. You can go in and write stories. If you're not comfortable saying it out loud, you can have a chance to type in something and do it 21st century style. So, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
They don't call me last word Lorna for nothing. I just wanted to take a moment to kind of wrap things up. Does anybody else want to say anything before I get there? Because you can jump in right now. Okay. I did want to say, my uncle Hyman, you've already heard about his name. His name actually comes from the Hebrew, and his Hebrew name was Chaim, and his mother always called him Chaim. And Chaim is an interesting name because it comes from Chai, which means, anybody know? Life. Life. And that's important here today because what he shared with all of us was his life, was his joy, was his humor, was his real ability to do extraordinary things, to live for love, to really have a life and successful family, and a successful community. It was a life, as we would like to say, well lived. So Chaim, thank you for being a part of all of us, and we all have a piece of Chaim in us, and that's special. So, enjoy the rest of your, and enjoy your story.
Very special, and I have to tell you that when I turned sick, our youngest son, Joel, came frequently to visit and cheer us up. And we talked about death, and we asked, Joel asked his father, can you picture what you would want done? And his answer was, I'm gone, I don't want anybody. And Joel was saying, well, how about Eleanor? And I said, I want everybody to support me, and you're all here, and wonderful. And I thank you all for coming.
Okay.